You all have probably seen my portfolio by now, but I wanted to make a video if you had a gun to my head and said, Kyron, what are the top 5 altcoins to buy now and hold for the 2025 bull run? Like, what are your top picks, essentially? Well, this video isn't just going to give you the answer, of course. In the usual fashion, I'm going to take you through the actual reasoning as to that so you can go ahead and apply this to your own projects. Now, I want to really stress this for everyone, okay? This is something you should be doing first things first on your research. It's something I'll be teaching profusely on my course that I will be coming out with hopefully in the next few months here. But I want you all to understand 2025 isn't a market where we have to find the really nuanced, tiny little details that, twist and turn and change the outcome overall in the end. What we're concerned with is the big picture because it is a highly speculative market. We aren't at the point yet where we're diving right into the projects. At least we don't need to. We should be, but we don't need to, okay? So this is going to take you through that process and ultimately squeeze out those top 5. Now, let me take your attention to the chart over here. As you can see, we're starting off here with 18 projects. These are my channel favorites, or at least the ones I could definitely think of off the top of my head, okay? And why are these projects? Well, again, they're the ones I like, but I do think that they in their own right are fantastic projects, okay? So I could have picked 1,000 in here and obviously weeded out most of them in the first couple situations, but I wanted to actually give you guys what are the best versus the best. And we're going to start off with these 18, of course. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them down below right now because I most definitely can redo this video in the top 10 cents, okay? Once I have more projects. Now, let's dive into it. So, top 5, we're going to move these into from a large 18 and dwindle them right down. So, how can you even do this? Well, by using filters to determine which is the best. We must play it in terms of filtering. We can't just go, okay, analyze Mina versus Nia protocol and think of this and think of that. You get in a very, very fuzzy headspace. You have to layer it like a cake and look at things comparatively, apples versus apples, rather than trying to do it all at once, okay? So, first thing, primary narratives, not sub-narratives, primary narratives. Okay, where will the money flow? What are these projects known for? And hopefully multiple different things, and therefore can money flow into that in the first place? We'll touch on why in a second. Second thing, memetics, right? So essentially from there, what will the money be magnetized to? So you can think of narrative as money flowing in and it being around the space in a general like layer 1 space, but where's that money going to be magnetized to straight away based on how quality the project is? Memetics is essentially how can it quickly be known to people. And number 3 is news and upgrades. This is kind of like the cherry on top, essentially what will boost the appeal in the end, right? Prone to huge news plus roadmap events, stuff like that. So this is what really matters in a highly speculative market, aka the 2025 scene. Forget having to worry about the nuanced things. Again, tokenomics, how's the burn mechanism on this, and what are we looking at for transactions? And that matters. Yes, it does play into this, but that would come immediately after news and upgrades, okay? This is by far the most important thing. Of course, you don't want to be buying a project and be highly inflated, but you definitely want to look at that stuff later. But this is what carries everything. You can have average tokenomics, average team, average everything else. If this is S tier, that's all you need. That's all you need, okay? So from this, we will get the winning altcoin. So we're going to layer it down, squeeze out like a funnel, okay? So primary narratives, let's start off with this. Very simple start. This is what I teach on the channel all the damn time. And as I said, I will most definitely be coming out with a, how-to on all this sort of stuff and really get into it in a much more controlled, relaxed environment. You guys know me by now. I'm very high pace on the channel. I want to really break it down for you guys who want to actually make an impact in the 2025 bull run pending, all right? So I've actually gone ahead and extended this narratives list even more than what it has been in the past. Okay, I really wanted to drive home what I'm talking about here. There's hundreds of narratives. There's like 400 or 500 on CoinMarketCap itself, but these are the most important ones. Again, you could argue these are all primary narratives in their own case. Essentially, narratives, what I call primary, where it's what a project's known for. And when I say primary in the sense of these are primary narratives in the whole general scene, essentially, you're not going to like want to look up, for example, Nia protocol ecosystem as a narrative. That's not really going to be a narrative right now, okay? What's going to be a narrative in 2025 is AI, gaming, ZKPs, proof of work, DeFi, big narratives, and primary in the sense of when you think of a project, that is instantly what you associate with it. So, Chainlink has a recent upgrade where they're looking at bringing on interoperability, right? Or even that tokenization as like a core part of their network, right? But no one right now looks at Chainlink and goes, tokenization. You think Oracle. You might start to think a little bit, I guess in 2025, you will probably think of interoperability, but right now it's Oracle. That's what I'm really talking about here. So in this case, we aren't going to eliminate these projects just yet. We're going to kind of put them in a rough spot, and then the meme is going to really tell us how good the project really is. So I bring these narratives right from a 10 out of 10. Again, this is a very subjective thing here. I am saying that I think that it's going to have the most amount of demand in 2025, right? So from top to bottom, interoperability, privacy, Oracle, gaming, and AI. I've ranked them all 10s. What is number 4? Well, layer 0, layer 1, layer 2, tokenization, metaverse, storage, cloud infrastructure, X to earn. So play to earn, run to earn, sweat to earn, whatever you want to incorporate there. They're all 9s out of 10, okay? So more or less the same sort of thing. 8, I believe payments and zero-knowledge proofs. Again, this could completely change. And again, this is why it's probably important you guys subscribe, join the Discord, stay up to date with what I talk about, because I almost guarantee you, just like a trader would do, these will ebb and flow as time goes on. Proof of work, so on and so forth. You guys have the idea. Right down to like 4 out of 10. We don't really go lower than 4, okay? So what I've done essentially here is just put the projects in order, okay? So we've got, and they are pretty much in alphabetical order, but I've pretty much listed out what they're known for. Now, again, you can get technical here. You know, you can come over here and say, well, Mina's known for more than that. Mina has a very intricate Oracle system that they're going to bring out. But again, no one apart from like the core contributors or the core team or again, like the core community really knows that sort of stuff, okay? We have to instantly think to ourselves, narrative. Okay, what comes into your mind when you think of XLM, right? And that is the primary narrative, okay? And we kind of have to play into the future a bit, you know, like where is the evolution taking us? But I've tried my best here to kind of pivot for that, right? So I wouldn't really say Chainlink would really be tokenization just yet, especially for 2025, but I think in that period of time, it will probably be known as an interoperability protocol, right? So let's move on. Now, this is kind of like, it looks kind of yuck, right? I get it. I try to make it look visually appealing, but it didn't really work out. Now, again, we're going to put a pause on really scrutinizing these projects for the narrative, but what is more important right now is we got the narrative in our mind and then we match it with the meme. Now, the meme I'm going to break up into 3 separate sections. Just because an altcoin has many primary layer 1 narratives, again, it could have multiple. The more the better, and the more powerful individual ones, the better, of course, but that doesn't mean it's going to absorb the most amount of demand. Demand will most likely come from the meme, which you can imagine like people deciding to play one particular poker machine or slot machine, as it's always lucky. You know, I've never gambled in my life ever, but in saying that, I know that there is a tradition. There are certain machines in casinos everyone likes to play because it's lucky, okay? And in this example, there may be an entire casino full of slot machines, okay? But one stands out, therefore it's always occupied, right? It's the real cash cow for the casino. And in this case, we're looking for the cash cow in the narrative itself. Where's that loose money, like the example earlier in the video I mentioned, where's that loose money going to be magnetized to, okay? Now, meme can be defined in 3 different ways. So unique attributes, things like, unique tech, unique governance structure / team. They could have a really, really good team that also plays into the meme, right? And tokenomics. It can be very, very appealing, right? Especially for degens, love the burn mechanisms, right? So we rank that out of 10. We also rank the uniqueness being easily identified, so and understood, right? So that pretty much falls into propagation, right? So there's a project everyone likes talking about now called Trius. I think that's at least the ticker, I believe it is. Again, I've very barely looked into it, but I understand some of the jargon they use in that project and the overall idea of it can be quite complicated, and that does diminish one's meme or memetics, right? The propagation aspect. It'd be hard for me to tell you about it because it's hard for me to understand it. Therefore, it's not gonna spread. It's literally a part of human nature. You know, you wonder why sometimes you walk down the street and someone whistling a tune and you kind of start whistling yourself. It's because it's easily propagated. If that tune was extremely difficult, you wouldn't remember it, therefore you wouldn't start it yourself. Same things here. And also direct competition out of 10. So we're in the narrative here. Now I'm saying direct, competition. I'm not saying like near protocol versus multiverse X. They are competition, but direct competition, yeah, I guess they kind of are. But if they are very nuanced, for example, Mina protocol versus Near protocol, then that is not direct competition because we're talking about a ZKP heavy network and a not so much ZKP heavy network, right? So while they're in the same leagues, they're not directly butting heads, okay? So Mina would be probably a better comparison against something like Monero, for example, right? So again, it looks very ugly, but I'm not going to go through it. You guys can pause right now if you want to look at it yourself and take it all in. But as you can see, again, we're ranking out of 10 here. So some of the most notable ones is, out of 10, Chainlink definitely wins, HBAR definitely wins, Mina wins, Nillion wins, Quant wins, XLM wins, and also XRP wins as well. Now, again, it's going to take way too long to go through this with you guys, but hopefully if you do watch the channel, you will understand the reason why they do have unique attributes themselves and why they stand out, right? So some people might be a bit concerned, why is why is Cardano a 5? Or, why is VeChain a 5? Why is Casper a 5? Why is Gala a 5? Well, guys, there's nothing really amazing that stands out. Yes, they have, there's little nuance things that are cool. Again, a 5 is average, right? It's just like, okay, that's cool, that's 5. It's an average. I'm not saying it's bad. 4 is leaning on the bad side, but I feel like they have no defining wow factor moments, at least right now. Yes, you can argue, point and case about nuanced things, but again, what are most people going to associate with that project? Like, what instantly stands out about Cardano to you? Is it the proof of stake mechanism? Is it that Charles is a founder? Like, that is why it kind of all ranks in as a 5. It's nothing too crazy. So, number 2, uniqueness. Again, is it easily identified, understood, therefore can it be easily propagated like a tune down the street, right? Well, again, let's look at the 10s here. So I've ranked Chainlink at 10, Gala at 10, because Gala is just games and everyone knows games, right? HBAR at 10 because of the hash graph, pretty simple, right? And the governance structure, so on and so forth. Casper is actually a 10 because it's proof of work, which is pretty cool, smart contracts. These are easily buzzword terms, right? We have Polkadot, Quant, we also have XLM, and of course XRP. Pretty self-explanatory, so on and so forth. Now down here we have direct competition. This is where some of you might be like, what are you talking about? Because we've got over here, of course, this makes sense, right? Chainlink, they have a monopoly on the market. That makes a lot of sense. But we have Nillion, because Nillion is so unique, there's nothing like it right now, okay? It is hard to understand though. That's why it's a 3 over here. So that kind of plays into it, right? But we have XLM and XRP at 9s because they kind of are in a way competing with each other. Also in their Web 2 markets, they do have competition as well. So they aren't 10 out of 10s, but most definitely they are close enough, okay? So on and so forth. Now, total scores, I am going to not go through that because the top 8 finalists are, drumroll please, these 8 rather, okay? So we have Chainlink, HBAR, Casper, Mina, we have Polkadot, Quant, XLM, and XRP. They are the top 8 winners. Now, again, this wasn't something I had any sort of subjective input in. I literally just ranked them based on what I know about the projects and based on some research I've done to catch myself up to speed. Completely objective, okay? So, the last phase is news and upgrades. Well, if we come down here, again, this was really hard to do because some of these projects don't have roadmaps leading into 2024 and even 2025. So for those I had to put question marks, of course, Chainlink, Quant, XLM, XRP were those projects. So again, I can't really rank it too crazy on that, but I do understand that part of that does play into what they are building as well, okay? What could potentially be coming up, and that's kind of why I spoke about the news so highly of those projects. But nevertheless, we have something like Chainlink, right? Question marks, but I'm not going to rate it, behind the scenes too high for this because we've already had most of these massive upgrades coming out for 2023. Yes, it will definitely find its price in the next bull run, but I do think those big news events, those roadmap events, that massive announcement of X partnership, whatever it might be, that really spices up instantly the price, and that's when we can take advantage in the bull run, okay? Of course, we have HBAR over here. I would give it a 9 out of 10 if it had sharding included in the roadmap, which Lehman, the founder, has spoken about he will be implementing. We don't know if it will be in 2025. So without sharding, just the roadmap how it is right now, it'd be about 3 out of 10. Why? Because with the roadmap events, we are looking strictly for things that are going to bring in the mass market. We are looking for things that the community is going to be loving, right? Because the community loves almost any upgrade that's positive for the network. We're looking for things that are going to be bringing in the masses, right? So again, let me reiterate here. While ranking based on upgrades can be quite easy by obviously reading the roadmap, news is far more difficult to predict as this is information such as partnerships, sudden upgrades, so on and so forth, that is unforeseen and therefore unpredictable. So in this case, I have to resort to subjective guessing based on where the project currently is versus where they're headed and what kind of news that could suddenly come out. If you're confused, let me elaborate with an example over here. So Uniswap is almost certainly not going to partner with Google, which could be a reason for a massive supply shock, therefore a massive shoot up in price. Whereas Multiverse X is far more likely to partner with something like Google or a massive name. Pretty much the extent of Uniswap is anything within Web3 itself, most likely, all right? So that's what I'm sort of saying here. So when we come to news now, that's why I've ranked them in this such way. No one knows what the news will be. I'm kind of hedging into a massive partnership. For example, XRP and XLM, they're 10s because the space they're in, but also because of that lawsuit, that pending lawsuit. One, I mean, look, that's 10 out of 10 without a doubt. You guys know that if that gets any wind of anything relating to central banks or any sort of large corporation that's going to shoot the price up, so on and so forth. Casper being a 2 out of 10, the lowest on this list by far, simply because it's a fully leaderless project, right? So anything that, comes positive for this network, the news department, is just only going to be from something that the community gets behind and pushes, right? So the top 5 for 2025 are HBAR, Mina, Quant, XLM, and XRP. Now, the explosive potential here, right? We do have varying sizes, market caps, 300 mil, 1.1 bill, 1.6, 3.6, and the largest on the list, XRP, being $26 billion market cap. In my opinion, guys, what it actually worked out to be was very pleasing for me. A good and diverse range of altcoins at different market cap sizes. The only two very similar projects, of course, we have on this list is XLM and XRP. But if you were asking me, I would exchange XRP for a smaller cap project, somewhere between the 300 mil to like the 5 billion market cap level, maybe even Chainlink, okay? So that was actually quite interesting for me to go ahead as a thought exercise and run through myself. Again, I tried to be as completely subjective as I possibly always try to be, but yeah, it was pretty interesting. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This is my top 5 picks if I had to choose for now for the 2025 bull run. So thanks for watching. Take good care. Talk to you all soon. Bye.